Hey everybody, my name is Andy. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to be talking about the tires on this Jeep. Now the tires came on this Jeep. I have no clue how many miles are on these tires. I looked through the glove box. I didn't see anything about a purchase or anything like that. So I do not know how many miles are on these tires. I'm going to guess 10,000-ish. That's my guess. I don't know that, but that's my guess. 10 to 12,000-ish. So these are Goodyear Wrangler MTRs. They are a mud tire. And here in a little bit, I'm going to take you a ride down the road, give you my thoughts about these tires, let you listen to how loud or quiet they may be, and just give you an overall, what I think about them. But before we do that, I'm actually going to give you some ratings. I got on TireRack.com, kind of looked over some of the ratings, jotted down some of them, not all of them because there was a lot. We'll go over what kind of warranty you have with these, and then I'll tell you the thing I think that is the most important to get tread life out of these tires. Mud tires are very, very blocky. You have a ton of tread, but they are not known for tread life because they are made for off-roading. And they're very soft and they wear out quickly on the highway. Now there was some people on Tire Rack, I'll go into this. One guy claimed he got like almost 60,000 miles out of a set of these tires. He must have drove at like 40 mile an hour everywhere he went and never got over 20 in a curve, because I swear in the 2 weeks I've owned this Jeep, I think I can tell that my tires have actually worn some. Now, I try not to drive too crazy, but it is curvy here. I live in a mountainous region. You're going to go through the curves. It happens. But let's get into some of the ratings. So it actually got 4 stars out of 170 reviews. Now that's quite a few reviews, because most people, like me, don't do reviews on Tire Rack. I do my reviews here for you guys. So I'm not going to put a review on Tire Rack because you can see it right here. But 170 reviews is quite a few. Now these do have the Kevlar in them. 7.3% of people out of 10%, it goes up to a 10. 7.3 said they would buy them again. That's pretty high, it's 3/4 that says they would buy them again. Wet traction is 8.1, and like I said, they're pretty soft tires, so you would expect it to have pretty decent wet traction. Corner stability is 8. I can testify to that. They corner pretty well. This is a wide tire. I would expect that tire to, a lot of rubber on the road to really kind of hang in that curve, and they do, and this says it also. Light snow is 8.3, and deep snow is 8.6. Now, we don't get a ton of snow here, but I do expect these to do very, very well in the snow. I will say that, but like I said, we don't get a ton of snow here, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Ice was a 6.4. So the ice wasn't great. But what tire does go good on ice unless it's studded? They make specific tires for that. And unless you have one of those tires, what tire is actually going to go really good on ice? The ride comfort is a 7.3. I will tell you this before we take a ride. I don't know if I mentioned this. I've actually already shot the ride part of this video because I was going somewhere the other day and shot it. And I can't remember if I mentioned this. But at a higher rate of speed, it's like the tire gets more comfortable. I don't know if air gets up underneath the Jeep or something, but at like 65 or 70 mile an hour, this tire isn't as bad as it is at slower speeds. When you're slowing down, you can really feel that blocky tread, and at a higher speed, they are more comfortable. Not sure I'd gave it a 7.3, but they are more comfortable. Noise is a 6.2. They're noisy. It's a mud tire. Mud tires are noisy. The more they wear out, the more noisy it's going to get. Tread wear was a 6.5. Now, I'm sure there's other mud tires that probably have worse tread wear than that, but 6.5 is not that great. Dirt is 9.3, dirt traction that is. Sand, 8.5, mud, 8.7, and rocks are 9.1. So what these tires are designed for, apparently, they do really well. And me and my buddy are actually planning a trip off-roading this. I'll try to get some good footage of that whenever we go. But we are planning a trip back up in the mountains. I am going to take this. This is a nice Jeep. It's still going off-roading. I didn't buy this to be a safe queen. I have a Roush for that and a Tundra for that. This is for fun, and I am going to treat it as such. Now, the one thing I think that is very, very, very needed, you really have to do this to get good tread out of these tires, is rotate. There's a guy on there that got all those miles, so he rotates his tires every 2,000 miles. Every 2,000 miles. Now, I don't know if I have the time to take this somewhere or do it myself to rotate these every 2,000 miles. I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome if I had the time to do it, and I'm sure you get excellent mileage out of them. I will probably rotate these every time I get the oil change. That's just how I do all my vehicles when I get the oil change. So every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, whatever the oil change is, that's when I'll rotate these tires. And that's probably better than some people do, because some people don't rotate their tires. You should always rotate your tires. There's a guy at work don't believe in it. I firmly believe in that. Rotate your tires. I hate buying tires. Save yourself some money. Don't wear out your tires. Rotate them. And that's the key to these. If you're going to buy these, rotate, rotate, rotate. So let's get into some warranty. They're a mud tire. Basically, there is no warranty. Basically, you buy a mud tire, you don't get any tread life warranty or anything like that. No road hazard. You get nothing. There's no warranty. So if you wear these puppies out in let's say 3,000 miles, that's your fault, I guess. But now you won't do that. Realistically, I think that you should probably get between 20 and 30,000 miles out of a set of these, unless you're really, really hard on them. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm guessing. That's kind of what I'm going by on this. And I think probably 20 to 30,000, maybe even 35 if you're a little easy on them. I think that's realistic. But let me get you down off the tripod now, show you the tires. I want to show you how much the ones on it have wore, and I have a brand new one on the back that I can show you the difference in the tread. Be right back. Okay, so here we are. You can see these big blocky tread right here. If I stick my finger down in there, we have about that much tread left. Now, I calipered these compared to the ones in the back, and I have about half tread left. Now, I was just kidding whenever I said I think I can notice these things wearing, but I swear it looks like there's less tread on it than there is right now. But there is one thing that people really like about mud terrain tires, and it's hard to find another tire that you get this from, and that is this very, very beefy sidewall right here. This really rugged looking sidewall. That's what a lot of people want on their Jeeps. It really, really makes the Jeep look good when you have that big rugged sidewall. And I agree, it really, really looks good with that. And Nitto Ridge Grappler and a couple other tires actually have some good looking sidewalls like that, but I still don't think it's as beefy as that right there. I mean, this tire just really looks mean. And if I get down here, let me back up. If I get down here and give you a whole view of it, that just really, really looks mean right there. And these are a 35, 12, 50, 17. So you do have a lot of sidewall here for off-roading. You don't want like a really narrow tire for off-roading. You want some sidewall. I looked at another Jeep that had 20s on it, and it had like a little narrow sidewall. And I knew I was going to have to change those tires for off-roading, or those rims as well, because I was going to go down to like a 17 or 18. So I'm very glad that they had AEV wheels, and I'll do a review of these wheels as well at a later date. But I'm really glad they had these tires with these wheels on it, so I actually have enough sidewall so I can actually let some air out of them whenever I go off-roading, and then air them back up whenever I get done. So let's go around to the back of the vehicle and show you the tread on the back. Okay, so before we go to the back, I want you to see right here. If I take my finger and I go right here, that's about how much tread I have left. Here is how much tread we started with. So you can see right there, I'm close to about half tread. These things are massive when they are new. I mean, look at the blocks on them. They are huge. Now, you know, if you could get this in the same kind of compound as like an all-terrain or something like that, these things would last forever. They'd probably be really loud, but they would last forever. I mean, that's just a very aggressive looking tire. And I have to say, you know, I've really thought about putting ridge grapplers back on this, but if these tires actually do last quite a bit longer, I would almost have to go back with a set of these just because of how beefy they really look. I mean, it's amazing. Just as far as aesthetics, this tire is awesome. But when you get into tread wear, it just don't have the same life. And 90% of our driving or more is going to be on the highway, and highway is going to eat this mud terrain up, I do believe. So there you have it. You've seen them on the vehicle, how much wear was on them. Like I said, I don't know how many miles are on these. I'm just going to guess 10 to 12. Just from reading articles, reading what people say, I'm going to guess there's 10 to 12,000 miles on these tires. And then you can see how much more tread was on the brand new ones on the back. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to set you up in the Jeep, and I actually put a new mount in the Jeep. I ain't put that video up yet, but I'm going to put you in that mount, and that mount is really sturdy. And we're going to go down the road, and I want to go ahead and tell y'all it does have some bouncing in it because these tires ride a little bit rough. There is a mixture between the tire and the suspension. It does have aftermarket suspension lift. I'll do a review on that as well. But you can see a lot of it, or most of it, probably comes from this rough mud terrain tire. So let me get you here off a tripod, put you inside the Jeep. Be back in just a minute. Okay, everybody, so as you can see, we are in the vehicle. So I want to say that most people that buy this tire are probably buying it for looks. Now, it does look amazing, no lie about that. Those great big lugs, that awesome sidewall, it just looks so beefy, looks really mean. And most people are going to buy this tire for the look on like a Jeep Wrangler or some other lifted truck. I'm telling you, don't do that. Do not do that. Go with like a Nitto Ridge Grappler or a Toyo Open Country RT, something that still gives you a really nice sidewall and aggressive look, but isn't bouncing the camera like this right here. This isn't suspension, in my opinion. This is lugs off of this tire. Like I said before, this tire is amazing looking, and I think it would do great off-road. If you are going off-road, whether it be some kind of rock climbing, whether it be through the mud, whether it be really rough terrain, I think this tire would really excel there. But on the road, it is very loud and very, very bumpy. And when I say bumpy, you can feel those lugs biting. It's like they're not close enough. I think what they do with like the Nitto Ridge Grappler and the Toyo RTs, I think they put those lugs a little bit closer together, which makes it where you don't feel it as much on the road, but you can see how this camera's bouncing. And I'm not going to edit this out, so I'm sorry if this makes you all sick, but this is what this tire is. It makes it literally this bouncy. And another thing with this tire, it seems like you're always fighting it. If there's a little dip in the road or something, the width of this tire is really wide, and it will grab that, and these big lugs only help it jerk you one direction or the other. And you can see right there, there's not much play in this, and it's just rough. Now, I do have to say, some of that is probably suspension. Let me put my hand up here and see if I can steady it just a little bit for you guys, because good Lord, this is crazy. But some of this is probably suspension, because the suspension is going to be a little stiff. I'll do a review of that as well. But a lot of this is tire, especially, now that's a railroad track, especially on roads like this right here. And you can see it stabilized a little bit, but on a smooth road, this camera is still bouncing like crazy. And that's just what you're going to deal with when you go with this Goodyear Wrangler MTR, I think it is. It's their mud terrain, and it's a really aggressive mud terrain. And I don't know if you can hear this. I'm only running 55. It's pretty loud, and I still probably have over half tread. that noise is only going to get louder as these tires wear. That's just how mud terrains do. And if you want that look, that's just something you're going to have to deal with. But I do want to urge you that, you know, you do fight the steering wheel quite a bit when you have these tires. It just seems like it pulls you one side or the other all the time. The vehicle is aligned. This Jeep is aligned. It's not out of line at all. But that's just the nature of the beast. So if you're looking to get like a big aggressive mud terrain, if you're not going off-road, I would highly suggest against it. If I were to buy the tires today that I wanted to put on this, it would probably be Nitto Ridge Grapplers. And I don't know if you could hear that or not. I was talking, but as you slow down, the roar gets even louder because the wheels are slowing down, and you can really feel that in your brake and your steering wheel. You can really feel each lug just start, you know, bogging down as you're slowing down. So that's something else, and that's something I've noticed in a lot of Jeeps I test drove before I bought this one, had mud terrain on them. And like I said, it's for looks. Most of those people did not take those vehicles off-road, so it was mainly looks. But I test drove one Jeep, and I forget which mud terrain it had on it. I can't remember right offhand, but they were wore down to probably under a quarter tread, and it was horrible when you hit your brakes. I mean, horrible. Now, like I said, I'm trying to stabilize this camera. I have a finger on it, and I still can't do it when I hit bumps and stuff with these tires. Like I said, some of it is suspension. I'm not hitting bumps right now. This is all tread. So, like I said, unless you're actually planning on doing some big time off-roading, you are much better going with a Ridge Grappler or some hybrid tire such as that. There's a lot of companies. I think Falcon makes a tire, I can't remember, Wild Peak or something like that, that a lot of people rave about and talk about it being really, really good. And they seem to talk about how quiet it is. Now, I've never owned those. I just hear good things about them. But as far as an aggressive mud tire, I know y'all want that look. And if you're willing to sacrifice the ride quality, some handling, and just the overall smoothness of the vehicle, you know, they do look good, and people do comment on how good this Jeep looks, but they've not rode in it. Now, is that enough for me to buy a new set of tires? No. I hate buying tires. I really do. I wish there was like a Ridge Grappler on this when I bought it, but I really hate buying tires, so I will wear these out before I buy another tire. I just can't justify me going out and spending, because I will buy a fifth tire to match the back when I buy all the other four, and I can't justify me going out and spending $1,600 or $1,700 for 5 tires just because these are a little rough and a little loud. I will wear these out first, and then I'll buy a set. But now, if I had somebody that wanted to buy these for $600 or $700 and save $1,000, I would probably sell these to them and then go out and buy a set of Ridge Grapplers. Now, they would have to be local, because I'm not going to ship these. It would cost me a fortune to ship something like this. So that's why I say I'm probably going to go ahead and wear these out first. And I do plan on doing some off-roading in this Jeep, but I don't even know if the off-roading around here would be enough to warrant needing a big mud terrain like this. There's not a lot of places around here that you're going to go rock crawling and stuff and get like in some deep mud. So I'm not sure that even the off-roading around here that I'm going to be doing warrants having a big mud terrain tire like what is on this Jeep right now. So I'm looking pretty forward to later on down the road when these wear out and I put a quieter, smoother tire on it, because I will be taking this Jeep to Florida, and that's going to be horrible because you're going to be fighting that road, especially some of the roads in North Carolina and stuff are uneven anyway, and I'll be fighting that the entire time. So kind of dread that, but I love the Jeep. I love driving the Jeep, and the tires, like I said, aren't enough to make me not want to take it. So in review, unless you're doing a lot of heavy off-roading, I don't suggest these tires. Yes, they look great, but there are plenty of other, hybrid tires, as they call them, that look really good too. I know I keep talking about the Ridge Grapplers and the Toyo Open Country RTs. Those are two of my favorite tires that I would go with. And it's going to be a hard choice when I get there, but I do think the Ridge Grapplers are going to be my choice. I wanted to put those on my truck, but my truck has a 3-inch lift, and I don't think that a 35-12-50 will fit up underneath that in a Ridge Grappler. I think I'm going to have to stick with the Terra Grappler G2s, and I have gotten good miles out of them, but they don't have the aggressive sidewall like the Ridge Grappler does and the aggressive tread that looks better. So that being said, I'll put the Ridge Grapplers on this. When it comes time, I'll stick with the Terra Grapplers on the truck. Hope this helps somebody out that was thinking about getting a mud tire that's only going to drive their Jeep or whatever 98% of the time on road, like all of us probably do. And some people never take their vehicle off road because these things are so expensive, you don't want to scratch them. So especially if you're in that instance, do not buy a mud tire to go on it, because you'll regret it later on down the road, especially when they start getting some wear on them. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.